I got to know Brian actually through his mother. His mother was on our board, and she said, you know, you really don't want me on this board. You want my son. And Brian just charmed me right away with his personality, and the more I got to know him and appreciate his depth and the breadth of his interests and his contacts, the more excited I was to have him on the board.
When I probably actually first got to know him best was when we were on the Boys and Girls Club board together. They had a dinner every year. It was called the Steak and Burger Dinner, where you had a speaker and the kids were supposed to get the steaks and the attendees got the burgers. And one year we had Dave Shula bring his father, Don Shula, so we had this great speaker. And then the next year we were like, well, where do we go? And Brian he pulled out bringing in Arnold Palmer, the golfer, and I still don't know how he did it. Brian always seems to have a contact somewhere and loves being a part of events like that, and he always seems to be looking to do that kind of thing and make it work.
Well, I think he's secure in who he is because of the kind of home and education he had. I think it starts with that. And his personality, he is charming, and it's real. He is genuinely interested in every person he meets.
I think just kind of his normal, natural, way of being personable with everyone and being able to just grow and relate to everyone.
And he's just that kind of a person, and you're happy to do it for Brian because he cares.
But it really goes back to my roots as a child. We always talked about financial education as a family. Our father was an educator. Our mother came from an entrepreneurial family. You know, it was just instilled in us, you know, to be responsible. And I just think that that's something that the center really excels at, especially for these inner city children, to give them the opportunity to understand the importance of this at a very young age. It's just building those building blocks for the future, which is something that was part of our life, our DNA growing up. But now to see that it's being implemented and endorsed with these other children across CPS, the Archdiocese, etc., it's just very rewarding.
Education changes lives. And we were started by our congregation, or by a paralyzed woman who said, our call is to go to the world. Brian understood that every child is important.
You know, some of those fundamentals from our parents of just treat people with respect and be nice to them and engage with them and build trust and rapport, and you know, you'll have a lot of friends for the rest of your life.
You know, the idea of financial education, you know, as a whole for those in Cincinnati, it's something that he's been passionate about his whole life, whether it's with you know, my siblings and I, or you know, the Boys and Girls Club of Cincinnati, you know, Catholic Inner City Schools Fund. You know, education has always been something that he is really instilled in all of us, and has been a priority for him in giving back.